Hey everybody, this is Wide Open Prepper again. How you doing? I wanted to do a video and talk about the possibility of cash, cash money issued by the feds and gold and silver at some point in time being worthless, and not necessarily with the cash because of a dollar collapse, but just because the use of cash is, you just don't see it as much anymore. And to illustrate my point, I'll tell you a quick story. I was speaking to a mother about a year and a half ago who was on vacation, and she was with her teenage daughters, and she had purchased a disposable camera from the drugstore, and she wanted to get a picture, the mother did, of her and maybe one of the other daughters, I don't know. But she handed her daughter the disposable camera, and no joke, the daughter looked at it and said, "What am I supposed to do with this?" And her mother said, "Take a picture." And she says, "How do I do it?" So she had no idea what a camera actually looked like. And I hesitate to say a real one because it was a disposable camera. It's, you know, uh, cameras can take many different shapes or forms. But anyhow, her mother said, "Look through the eye, the viewer, and click the button." So the daughter takes the picture and then proceeds to look at the camera to find where she can view the image. And she says, "Where's the picture?" Now that blew me away. This was a 14 or 15-year-old girl. The mother had to tell her, well, we take it to the drugstore and they develop the film. What's film? So I think those of us who put value in gold and silver, I'm assuming most of us are maybe a little older. So I just asked the question, the generation that we're raising, are we going to get to a point where they almost don't recognize cash, even though, or even gold or silver? If you had some gold or silver, the younger the generation, they wouldn't recognize it as something of value, even in a shit hits the fan scenario. Because they're so uneducated about what it is, or they're so caught up in their generation before things got bad that they don't have any concept of it. Particularly now with Bitcoin, which, boy, I'll tell you, I've tried to just do some basic research on it to understand what it is, and it's crazy talk to me. It's unbelievable that people put value in this Bitcoin. It's a digital currency. I mean, give me a break. So it really got me thinking, because if you bring in cash to your bank to deposit cash, that's an unusual thing. I mean, it happens all the time, but it's happening less and less. If you go into the grocery store and pay cash, how many times do you go into a store and the guy in front of you or the gal in front of you is paying with cash? You just don't see it. So, out of sight, out of mind. Is it possible that that we could get to a point where, even though there was value there in cash, gold, or silver, that the perceived value wouldn't be there, at least with this generation coming behind us? So thoughts, comments, I would like your guys' input on that. And lastly, this is being recorded at the end of July 2015. There's some interesting things going on with China right now. We're watching their stock market collapse as we speak. Now, given their stock market, I believe, first started trading in, I want to say 2009, so it's in its infancy. It's not like our stock market, but there's a ton of market capital there. I think it's 5 or 6 trillion in market capital versus the New York Stock Exchange, which is 16 or 17 trillion. So a lot smaller than our stock market, but still a pretty good size. But what I find interesting about Canada having problems is, you know, there's a lot of investment that's gone in. Or did I say Canada? I'll have to rewatch this. China. If I said Canada, that's funny. China. You know, a lot of investment has been put into China. So if confidence in that market starts to go away, I think that's going to be a good thing for the United States in the short term, because the money globally is going to flow into our economy and our stock market because of, you know, we're the least problematic out of all the players in the world. I mean, Europe is a freaking mess. And so it's kind of been China up to this point. They were going to be the new players, but now we're seeing that they're having some major problems. So hopefully that's a good thing for our country. Oil is tanking. That's not good for the oil workers out there in this country. There was an oil boom in the Midwest with the fracking, and now that we've got oil under $50 a barrel, those guys are hurting. So I really am torn between paying cheap money for gas and keeping our boys and men and women working in that industry. So I live in an area where if things go south in the oil business, it affects people. I've seen a lot of people lose their job recently since oil has gone down. You know, and you've got this fight between OPEC and the Middle East and America, which is essentially producing more oil, and I don't claim to understand it, but I really hope that if things are going south with China, that helps our country, because there's a lot of money out there in the world, and there's a lot of people looking to invest their money, and if the confidence drops in China, I mean, where else would you go? The U.S. So hopefully that'll be good for our economy, because we need it. There's still a lot of people out there out of work, and even though the stock market is at an all-time high, there's still a lot of people that are either out of work or they're not making what they used to make. And I'd really like to see America come back again. It would be a great thing. So I'm going to try to have some hope. I hope you guys too. And Jim the Fish is also on board with this program. So anyhow, guys, this is Wide Open Prepper. Please comment, subscribe. I appreciate you watching the video, and God bless you guys, and God bless the USA.